Okay, let's dive into this. We've got some really interesting sources here about Chapter 9 of The Emperor of Gladness.
Yeah, this chapter really packs a punch, doesn't it? We're looking at excerpts called Gladness Emperor, Chapter 9, Cornbread, Grief, and Thanksgiving, and also Thanksgiving corn cake in Gettysburg.
Right, and it throws us right into the thick of it. A crazy busy fast food place on Thanksgiving Eve, this surprisingly deep chat about cornbread, and then these really quiet, almost intimate moments.
Characters dealing with, grief, feeling alone, trying to make sense of things.
So our mission here, I guess, is to kind of unpack all that, explore the different layers, the ironies, the hidden pain, and maybe where these little sparks of connection happen unexpectedly.
Exactly. Less plot summary, more feeling it out. What's going on beneath the surface?
So the setup is the day before Thanksgiving at this place, HomeMarket. And you'd think, okay, ghost town, right? Everyone's home prepping.
You would think.
Yeah.
But no, the sources say it's absolutely slammed. People are lining up buying like pre-made sides, gravy.
Totally. And you get this feeling, don't you, that some of them are probably going to pretend they cooked it themselves, that immediate irony.
It's right there. But it's not just about cutting corners. The sources mention who else is there. Nurses getting off shift, veterans, maids, truckers.
Ah, right. People who can't do the whole traditional Thanksgiving because of their jobs or lives. So HomeMarket becomes their lifeline for a holiday meal, sort of.
Yeah, and the scene inside sounds just chaotic. They're running out of warmers, heating mac and cheese, and the dishwasher rinse cycle.
Can you imagine just constant yelling? The heat's apparently over 100 degrees. People are exhausted, Wayne under the sink, Maureen needing a stool.
It's intense, a real pressure cooker.
Yeah.
But then there's this moment,
Yeah, amidst all that chaos.
this quiet pride thing. An old man, the source describes his spine like a jittery question mark. He tells the crew, "You're saving a lot of people from heartache."
Wow, saving them from eating alone.
Right. And even if the crew didn't really buy into the whole saving anyone idea, that simple thank you, it gave them this rare and unnameable pride.
And that little detail about Wayne smoothing his greasy uniform afterward, that says so much, doesn't it? Finding some dignity in just doing the job, even when it's tough.
Definitely. Makes you think about all the people working behind the scenes so others can have their holiday. That quiet showing up.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. There's this other scene with the cornbread. Hi's in the kitchen, Maureen's there.
Ah, yes, the great cornbread conspiracy. BJ's famous cornbread. Turns out it's mostly vanilla cake mix.
Maureen just drops this bomb, fueled by a bit of whiskey, the source says, calls it drunken wisdom.
And her take is fascinating. She says it's ingenious, but also, straight up, it's a lie.
Yeah, she compares it to a narcotic, all that sugar driving hunger, which she points out is good for business. A little nod to capitalism there.
But then she gets really philosophical, Incredible things can come out of lies.
Right. The lie is calling it bread. Sounds wholesome, but it tastes like cake, so even crappy cake seems like amazing bread.
And that question she asks, at what point does the cornbread become corn cake? Can you locate the crumb where this deception happens? It's suddenly about way more than baking.
Totally. It's like, where's the line between truth and lies in everything? In the systems we live in.
And she connects it, doesn't she? To losing faith in those fucked up systems, looking for purpose, realizing the underdogs are hidden, feeling alone but knowing others feel trapped too.
It's quite the monologue. It spins out into, like, war and reptilians in power using war for bad energy, science for destruction.
Even Star Wars, Obi-Wan running out of time, it's a whole thing.
And the source gives us that context, the whiskey smell, the bloodshot eye. Hi's just blinking, thinking it's fucked, wondering if she's okay.
Yeah, and he calls her a radio program. But we also get that glimpse of Hi's own stuff, right? Moving through his Dalad pretty fast.
It adds so much depth, both our coping, maybe, and this idea of comfort food being a lie. It kind of echoes how we use things to numb out, maybe, while feeling lost or angry about the bigger picture.
That sense of isolation Maureen talks about, seeing the lies everywhere, feels very real.
Okay, so then we jump to Thanksgiving Day itself, a very different vibe. Hi finds Grazina, and something's wrong.
Yeah, she's burnt her hair with a curling iron, looks confused, not quite herself. Asim Lavis, that you, in Lithuanian.
And Hi's reaction is just immediate care, isn't it? Checks the burn, says he'll fix it.
And ends up giving her her first haircut ever from him into the bathroom.
The details there are so vivid. Grazina still and stoic, the hair falling like dead insects, the old clippers.
It's a bowl cut result. And her comments like Julius Caesar, then more like a Boris, and that heartbreaking line, "I was pretty once."
Oh man, it captures so much from memory issues, vanity, but mostly just the simple act of Hai tending to her, you know? A quiet moment of connection.
It really is. Then Hai bikes back to HomeMarket even though it's closed.
And Sony's there waiting. Grazina had invited him. He was alone in his group home.
Standing there in his work polo, his nicest thing. Like a tin soldier, the source says. So this makeshift Thanksgiving happens right there, at HomeMarket.
The meal is simple too. Salisbury steaks Wayne made from leftovers, another little kindness. Grape soda, Sony's Goldfish.
And Sony launches into his thing, Gettysburg. He's fascinated by the Salisbury steak history.
Right. Invented by a Civil War doctor for diarrhea, Sony calls it a feat of Victorian-era innovation. He's genuinely excited.
And Grazina's response is just perfect, filtering it through her own gentle view. A kind doctor invented the best dish. You can taste the goodness in the man's heart.
Sony even brought his Gettysburg movie VHS. Apparently watches it all the time. Starts explaining the battle, Pickett's charge.
He knows all the details. But then watching the fighting on screen, he says that thing, everything bad always happens to the South.
Yeah, and connects it to his dad like it's some cosmic rule about Norths and Souths.
Which leads right into that devastating question he asks Hai about his mom in prison.
You think my mom's gonna be okay? She's got nothing to do with any kind of South or thing. Just lays his fear bare. So vulnerable.
You feel him just drift,
Yeah.
gets quiet, presses his hands on the table. Grazina senses his blues.
And then comes that moment with the goldfish cracker. Hyde just picks one up.
And makes it swim along Sony's headscarf. No words, just this gesture.
It's so strange, but so perfect somehow. And Sony's reaction, that's gross. But
Yeah.
then he giggles like a child.
It completely breaks the tension, right? A tiny, silly act of connection, of maybe love, when words just wouldn't work.
Absolutely. It cuts through everything, but the sadness lingers.
Because later, in the dark, Sony whispers, "Why do I feel so terribly sad?"
And Hai hears him, but pretends to be asleep, grappling with his own stuff, feeling like he's failed before, but wanting to be there now.
It just pulls everything together, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The loneliness, especially on a holiday, the hidden burdens people carry, Sony's mom, Hai's guilt, Grazina's fading memory.
And how sometimes it's not about fixing things. It's about showing up. It's about the small things, the presence, even the weird goldfish gesture being a way to say, I see you.
Yeah, this chapter really digs into memory and guilt and finding comfort in these quiet, maybe unexpected companionships.
It definitely makes the case that those small gestures are huge. Serving food, cutting hair, making someone laugh with a cracker. They're acts of love, really.
Hay couldn't fix Grazina's dementia or Sony's deep sadness or his own past mistakes. Nobody could.
But he was there. He showed up. And maybe sometimes that's what matters most, just being present.
It leaves you thinking, doesn't it? About the hidden rivers inside people. The scars, the pain, the memories.
And how maybe just acknowledging that, offering that little goldfish cracker moment, metaphorically speaking, can make a difference. Makes you wonder about the small kindnesses you see, or maybe do, that go unnoticed but matter deeply.
This is another honest review from the Book Podcaster.